soaking.
Because Derek is nearly no one to go.
Huh?
Can we not talk now? No.
I worked till 12 o'clock last night, so bear with me.
You want to, yes, the hot dog, chef, you work it. It's a father.
Want to thank everyone for being here today to remember Kenny. Losing him is the most difficult thing I have to go through right now in my life. You know, one day, you know, this day is gonna come. I really thought I had no years to go. I realized how fortunate I was to have him in my life as my father. He was very hardworking. And last night I was remembering one thing when we lived in New York. He used to wake up at 4:30 every morning in the freezing cold in the snow to go to work in Manhattan. He did that for years and it was rough, and he never complained. They worked so hard in New York to give me a better life. And I so appreciate that. Nobody would know that because it was just us in New York. But I will not forget how hard my parents worked. He was strict for me growing up. Oh, didn't let me out of his sight. And of course, living in New York, you have to be safe. And I would get so mad at him at times. But you know what? That made me who I am today. And I do appreciate that. At the time, you're a teenager. You're not thinking, oh, my dad don't want me to go with my friends to hang out. But you appreciate it as you get older. And he loved his family so much. He was devoted to Dida. That's his Dida. He could not live without her. She was the light in his heart. Could not live without her. Our little daily things, just even before he died, and I told everybody this. I work, and I get up work early. I don't take lunch. I work sometimes till 2:30, 3 o'clock. So by the time 3 o'clock I'm home, we live in the same community. My thing is, I check the mail for both of us, Mr. Bob. Call him up. Kenny, I got mail. He come out of the house, meets me in the driveway, and that was our chat. That was always our little chat for years. How's your day? What did you do today? He asked me, how's my job? What'd you do? How's your boss? My boss, Carolina. How's everything? Maybe 5-10 minutes, depending. That was our daily thing, 5 days a week. That was our little time together. Even if I didn't see him for the rest of the week, that was every day our little thing. I'm gonna miss that so much. I'm going to miss that so much. It was much, but that was our little thing together. I'm gonna miss it now. When I go to the mailbox, I'm gonna pick up the phone, calling people. He won't be there. He would tell me about when he was young, stories about his life, family, stories about Ramona. Always me. He called her Butch. Yeah. Always telling us when she was young. One time we took her to Carnival and she was wearing cowboy boots, I think. And
The
she couldn't,
shoes he bought
or
me,
he
it
couldn't
was too
walk.
tight.
He never stopped telling that story. That was his story. But he would always talk about his past. And I always learn little information about, he'll say something about when he was young or when he grew up. So I always heard something like, oh, I never heard this before. But there's always something new to learn about his life, who he was. He loves spending time, family gatherings. Ricky would call him up. Kenny, we're having a get together. Sunday. Tell Dita. Oh, that was his thing. He looked forward to that so much. Ricky be calling him on a Sunday morning. Kenny, how you doing? She's like a clock. She calls on Sunday at 12 o'clock. I know the time because we went, except me seeing him during the week, Mike and I were there between 11, 1, 2, every Sunday. 99% of the time. Sit and have lunch, talk about the week, talk about anything. Phone a ring, it'll be Ricky. Phone a ring, it'll be Ramona. It's clockwork. It was clockwork. We look forward to that. But he's no longer here physically. He's gonna live in our hearts forever. He and I and the family will miss him so very much. We want him to rest in peace. We love him. And I want to thank everybody for being here today and who couldn't make it. We had so much phone calls and text messages and family in Trinidad and people I haven't talked to in 20 years that text me, or they used to talk to my dad and they text me, Narina, this is so and so, I heard about your dad. And that made me feel so nice inside to get all these text messages and phone calls from so many people that remember my dad. That made me feel so good inside that these people contacted us. And all the people that are here today, for him. Kenny was a good person. He had his moments. He used to be stubborn. They would get into the little tidbits, but it didn't last long. Dita and him had the little bit. We all did.
And that's when Dita would call me.
And nothing major, but Kenny was good. He didn't think it hard to do anything for anybody or help anybody if he could. And I won't forget him for that. I just laid there last night thinking about all the memories when I was little in Trinidad, and then our lives in New York, our lives in Florida. So many different sections of our lives and change over the years. And this was like the final section, his life. But it'll live on. Like I said, he might not be here physically, but he's gonna live on in our hearts. And I just wanna thank everybody for being here today.
That was wonderful.
We thank you, Anna.
That was wonderful. I'm gonna say a few words. That was really wonderful. That was Narina talking about her father. She knew him different than any one of us did. But I'll tell you about the Kenny that I know, that I grew up with, that Rick grew up with, that Jim raised up to a certain number of years. That
You got married.
until he got married. Jim is the father for all of us. He's the father. I don't call him Jim. When I talk about him, they know what I say. Where's Dad? Because that's my father. Kenny was my typical brother. From when we were young, when we were much, much younger, we were, you know, all the family gave me the story. We were poor. And we had one big dressing table, okay, in my mom's room. And every single day, he would fight me to comb his hair before me. Every day. We'd have big arguments and fights because he wanted to use that dressing table. Kenny was vain. Kenny cared about his looks. He cared about his hair, how he looked. He always took me to carnival. And it was quite an experience. My first time, like Narina said, he'd always talk about he bought me a pair of shoes that was too tight. And my foot, by the time I was done walking San Fernando, it was bleeding. The second time he took me, he would stop at this, you know, you guys know what the snackage is in Trinidad, and buy me orange juice
That's it.
And then my pants button burst and we had to go find a place that would give me a pin so I could pin my pants. He was the only one who took me to parties because my mom was very strict. So he would take me, Lorna, Maureen, we had that group and we'd go to parties together, but he had his friends and they all stood there and looked at us while we danced. So we couldn't dance with any boys. We had to make sure that we danced with our own selves. And then he met Dita. We all call her Dita, and there's a story behind that Dita. When Sheila gave birth to Narina, all of us called her Sheila. Well, as Narina grew, became a little toddler, she could not say Sheila, so she said Dita. Well, the first person who started calling her Dita after Narina was Rick. And Rick, and then Az, and that name stuck. And nobody calls her Sheila. She has been known as Dita ever since Narina was a baby. When Ken brought Dita into our lives, I remember him telling us, you know you like her, you like her very much, but that's how Ken used to talk. And my mom said, if you see this good person, and she's that person you say, I am sure we would all love her. Dita came into our lives. When Ken brought her into our lives, he didn't bring a sister-in-law. He brought a daughter to my mom and a sister to me. She calls me every week. If I don't call her or something, she'll call me, hi Ramon. Stan knows that sound. Hi Ramon, what you doing? That's Dita. Okay? Kenny, I'll call Kenny. And Kenny will answer the phone like this. Hey Butch, what you doing? That was his name. He knew it aggravated me when he did that, but he did it anyway. He pushed my buttons. Every time he called me Butch, he knew that I would push my buttons. Every one of us here has memories with him. He's gonna be taking a part of us with. In the last 7 years, it was 5 of us. It's 2 left. We've lost our 3 of our siblings. And they each took a part of us with them, and the memories that come with that. I know how much being with his family meant to him. Well, he would tell me, he said, oh yeah, I talked to Rick, or yeah, Rick called me, or Don stopped by, or something. And he was always so happy when he saw his brother come by to visit with him. 2 weeks ago, I was missing my family. I hadn't seen my brother for a few months because I fell and I broke my wrist and my ankle, and so that was a whole process. I hadn't seen them, and I was longing to see my family. I hadn't seen Kenny and Dita. I wanted to see Rick because Rick hadn't been well, and I hadn't seen him since that happened. Rick is not my nephew. Rick is my brother. He grew up with me, him and I. We lived, we fought, we did everything together. And I wanted to see them, but I didn't want to go house to house and visit because he wouldn't spend quality time. So I called Val and I said, Val, guess what? I want to see all the family. Well, how about we come to your house? She told Rick, let's do it. They prepared, they did everything. We got together, the family got together, and we spent a wonderful few hours together. When we were leaving, Mike has a picture of all the family. And each time you get together, take pictures. Take as many pictures, because you never know which is the last. When we were leaving, I said to him, Kenny, we were out by the car, and Vito he said, I look good? I say, yeah, Kenny, you look really good tonight. And I touch his face. And I said, yeah, your face looks really good. You should see the smile on his face. Kenny was a little vain. He had to look good. He had to, you know. And that night is what I'm gonna live with. Because it was the one time that one member of our family who will never be there again was there. When you have family gatherings, make the effort. Be there. Try to make that effort because some of the people that's there might be the last time you might be seeing them. Everyone here, Kenny love. And we're gonna miss our hearts are never gonna be the same like that. I'll never hear his voice again. He'd never tell me the stories of the things I did when I was a little girl. But we have to carry on. We have people who still here with us. And what we have to do is, we can't dream anymore. We have to make memories. Make memories to the ones that's important in your life. Thank you everyone for being here. And I know Kenny, if he was here, he would want to say something. So we're jumping on behalf of Kenny, whoever else, James, Rick,
Where is Rick? Rick, yes? You want to say a few words, Rick?
You go first, man.
No,
If I
Well,
start talking about
I'll go
Kenny,
down.
there's so much I have to say.
Don, you'd like to say a few words?
No, go ahead, man. You go first, man.
Does anybody else want to say a
Hey,
few
you
words?
next, you go first.
Because the time is going short.
Yeah, we gotta get him covered up quick, so you go ahead.
Everybody, assalamu alaikum again. Welcome. Good afternoon. It's not good afternoon yet, but it's still
Good afternoon.
okay, good afternoon. Well, you heard the story about Ken, how he lived and the people he loved. I'll tell you something, that I spent some time with them in Trinidad once I was there. And Ken and I was very close, very, very close. Wherever I go, you know, I would want him with me. And we always work together. And when they had transferred me to Puerto Rico, he got married to Marina. Oh, he doesn't know, it's the same name to me. Anyhow, once I was over there, I just gone over there, and that's when they got engaged and they were about to get married. Lorna was with me in Puerto Rico. I took her there on a trip, and she spent some time over there, and then she was leaving. So the only thing I could do is send a nice suit for him to get married in, and that's when he got married to Marina. Dita. I'm tying up myself. So that's, but I didn't see the wedding. I was not there for the wedding, and it hurt me so much already. And so you know, but growing up with Ken and all of them, I was like the father. I had to work and make sure that there's food on the table, regardless of where I was in the world. I always make sure that money was in the bank, that my mother could go and withdraw it each month and take care of the family, pay the rent, whatever it is that needs to be paid. So that was my story, and really, you know, to them it was worth so much what I did. To me, it was just part of my duty, which I did, and that's how we lived. And then when I was in Puerto Rico, I spent 12 years over there. Then I came to America, and life changed completely. But my mother, just before she died, she came to Puerto Rico on a vacation, and she spent some time with us and everything. And life was so short that you lose people so fast and you don't even know. And the other day I lost my first son, Ozzy, and that was so hurtful. But this is life, we have to expect these things. But thank you. Is there anyone else? Would you like to say a few words? Carol or Sage?
Great.
First, let everybody view so we can cover him, and then I'll say a few words after. Let everybody view
Who
him.
wants to see?
Yeah, because according
You want
to
to view?
yeah, we need to
Well,
get him
you
covered
want
up
to
soon,
view?
then we can still talk before we leave and go to the church.
Marina's name came up all the time. Marina's name, like,
Listen, I have to go to
she's the wife.
Listen, if you don't want to leave,
They want you to. I know, and we always talk about the licensing. Yeah, but I and you said office in the back office. You should have called. But then I could have yeah.
Well, we have to be there for. No, 1 o'clock is when they start at 1 o'clock. Yeah, most of the places.
Going to say a few words?
You're good. I am. It's okay, don't it's fine. Yes, that's
Did everyone get a chance to view? That's all we have to program. Linda, I'm so sorry that I was substituted for you on my mind all the time.
We talked so much yesterday, we talked about this group.
Everybody good with you on? Anybody else on there?
And this is his wife.
All right, well, we need to get him.
By the way, the machine is on my, I've never used it yet, but I know how to use it. But if ever you want it, but we have it in a good place. It's in the bedroom with us and on a nice table. If ever, give my wife, by the way, Sophia. I don't know. She was first Sylvia. And when we got married, she wanted to be a Muslim. You never know. Yeah. My mother used to live close to us. We were like family. The boys and the girls.
She always tell me how to play cartoons. Yeah, we
Rick and the little boy who passed away, they used to be brought by, they grew like family. This is Maureen's daughter. You know who's living next to us in Trinidad? It's Italian.
I'm sure you heard what Lola. Yes. We were the musketeers.
Yes, I did. It's nice to, I think I did some meetings.
Yeah.
This is Jesus, my son. Did you say hi?
Let me just tell her.
Shy person.
Well, they will take the body and they'll go to the mountain. You all are going by the mountain? Yeah. To what? Yeah. We meeting tonight by Norina here. The family. No, she lives in all the way in West End. You all
You know, we often put in the soup.
Oh, geez, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a long way.
Yeah,
That's true.
we had to come and.
I'm thinking you were in Coral Springs.
Yeah, everybody was.
I didn't tell you I was coming, but I didn't.
Yeah,
You're all
yeah,
here
I
for the
just
same
wanted
reason we all
to.
here.
I'm
Yeah.
glad
We
to
love
see
to
you.
see you.
To see you all there.
He was a great human being, number one. He was my father for most of my life. When my dad wasn't around, it's Kenny and Dita. I never went without anything because of Kenny. If I wanted a new pair of shoes, Kenny would make sure he buy that shoes. He would go get our clothes tailored for us. Say, Kenny, I need to go to the theater today. Need to go to the cinema and see the karate movie. All right, come. Get my data. Take our money, give it to me and ours. And we go to the movie theater and enjoy. But most importantly, Kenny, I could talk about him for days, for months. But most importantly, he's gone now, but we'll never forget him. I'll grieve for many, many years, probably till I die, for Kenny. Kenny was super important. And I love him, and may God guide him on his journey to where he needs to go. Thank you, guys. Don, you want to say something?
Right.
I talked to him too. Yeah. Yeah, appreciate that. I thought he said that.
Lon, you want to say something?
Maybe it's you.
What can I say? You guys said everything that there is to say.
You're
We were growing up, I don't know what I used to say.
Yeah.
He was our guy. We always wanted to go party, theater.
What's your fuel, sir?
And I remember
Okay.
we used to go
What
downtown
remained to
during
see?
the weekend. That
Yes,
would
yeah,
let us
we
go,
can,
but
right?
he would say, oh yeah, we're going to the movies, so we go to some parties. As I said, those days we never forget.
Respectful
He
for
was a very
his
kind,
people.
generous guy. Remember when all the cousins came down from Chicago? The society was going
And
downtown.
he treated people like, human beings,
Yeah.
just with respect.
The parade and the shot and, oh boy, we
Older
had
brother.
good
I
times.
don't know if you know him. He was before me. We were 5 sisters. And he was,
Oh, jeez.
and Kenny and my brother,
Everybody,
they were really close.
you
Do everything
by the
together.
mosque or anything like that?
But it seems like these two families, you know,
Right,
it's
it's every
like
Tuesday
be so close and so.
sunrise.
Yeah, some trees are sunrise, but they do their janaza over here outside or inside?
And then they tear, and
When
they
mosque,
bring it up here, and it's like.
They could do it inside, they could do it outside, I don't know what they could do. But you just suggest they go to church and do it inside.
New York.
Do you know the address there?
He used to come
It's
to
actually
Costa Rica.
15th Street, so the easiest way, this is 6th Street here. So we need to go back,
He
No.
said that
the
he
15th,
would never leave New York.
which is our light.
And the next
Take
thing.
the light up and you see them up there. But past our views.
It's on the right side?
New York is spend most of
If
the
you're going
time
west,
there.
it will be on the right side.
And that's why that.
You'll see the big door, you'll see the big door on the left. Yes,
Off against it.
You know,
northwest 15th Street.
the street there, the farmer in the street there.
If they're gonna go there with tourists, they can follow the road. Find out from the guy, too, they'll follow the road.
What's going on, John?
Oh, no, we'll go ahead and move him to the hearse.
Yeah,
And then we allow the family to go ahead and go over to the mosque so that way you can get parking.
okay.
Because they got prayers and all that stuff going on.